Welcome to Open Source Friday, Imran. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks so much. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm so excited to have you here. And this is actually a pre-recorded session because we are all at Microsoft Build. And so I hope you watch and tune in to all the announcements of that. There'll be another show about what open source things were covered there. But today we're here to learn. And even though we're not transmitting live, we will both be taking a look at the chat. So feel free to drop your questions or your comments from Imran and myself. And yeah, I'm super eager to learn what you're bringing us today.
Awesome. Let's jump into it. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Open Source Friday. This is Imran. I am Principal Group Engineering Manager at Microsoft and the creator of Agent Governance Toolkit, also known as AGT. Quick context before we dive in. Everyone in the AI space is talking about how to govern AI agents, how to make them safe, auditable, controllable. That's literally what AGT does. But this talk is something different. It's about governing the open source project that builds those governance tools. So the meta layer nobody talks about. So when AGT hit popularity fast, we are at 2.5K stars within a month. We just launched this project and we hit every now maintainer's nightmare, like spam, security holes in our code, AI generated PRs, community confusion, you name it. So today I'm going to share the actual war stories, the real issue numbers, and the tools we built to fight back. Everything we build is MIT license, so you can take it. All right. Okay, I'm in the next slide.
That's fine.
Awesome. So 6 war stories. All are real from our repo. I'll give you the issue numbers so you can go look at them yourself after the show or during the show, or just be with us. So here's the line. Popularity is a forcing function. Everything you see on the slide is a problem that either didn't exist or didn't matter when we had like 50 stars. But like as we are growing and getting popular, everything is getting hard, very hard. So we're going to move through these fast because each one has takeaway pattern. You can apply to your own project, whether you are maintaining a 200-star utility library or maybe a 10K star framework. One more thing before we start, I want to be explicit that all the code and tooling we built in response to these problems we ran into in the repository is in the script/directory folder. All open source, you can actually use it as you go. Okay. Let me give you a quick baseline for anyone turning in and who hasn't heard about AGT. So the problem we are solving, AI agents are no longer toys. They are reading your files, calling external APIs, writing code, making purchasing decisions. They're just doing everything. And the interesting part is a lot of them run without governance. They operate on vibes and hopes and prompts and context. So AGD is the infrastructure layer that fixes all of that. We cover all the top 10 of the web's agentic top 10 risk, policy enforcement, declarative guardrails for what agents can and cannot do, zero trust identity, cryptographic agent authentication, not just here's your API and good luck. No, we don't do that. I think we are like execution sandboxing, you name it. I think we bring all of this governance all the way from shift left to the end. What I'm proud of is this is multi-language story. We have SDKs in Python, .NET, TypeScript, Rust, and Go. That's not just a vanity checkbox. It means enterprise teams can adopt AGT in whatever stack they are running today. So now, as we speak, 2.5K stars, 425 forks, 50 plus contributors. Sounds great. Awesome. And it is. But let me tell you also what happens when a project gets popular fast. So we're going to go to the next slide and we'll just talk a little bit about growth chart. So notice it's not a gentle slope. It was like a sharp climb. We, on April 2, we talked about it in our Microsoft open source blog. And then there was like a few plateau, and then like there was a continued growth. Here's the thing nobody tells you about OSS growth. Every milestone on this chart came with a category of problem. When we launched, nothing, it was clean, all good. Week 2, the first spam issue appeared. By month 1, we were like getting promotional feature requests that were actually paid placement pitches. By month 2, which is like right now we are just in month 2. We had enough folks that our CI started catching things human reviewers were missing. And somewhere in there, we discovered segment security vulnerabilities in our own code base. I'm going to talk about all of them. The moment that changed our thinking was then when we realized we are a governance toolkit. We publish ourselves as the thing that makes AI agents trustworthy, and yet our own house wasn't fully in order. And that was like a wake up call. So six war stories. Let's go. Let's talk about each one of them one by one. So issue 1760. This is my favorite because it's so brazen. Someone opened an issue, not a bug report, not a feature request. The title was Complementary Governance Integration. The body was, hey, love the project. We have built something that complements AGT perfectly. Advertising rate is like 3,000 Sato shows for a 7-day sponsored mention. DM for details. Bitcoin denominated advertising in our GitHub issues. On a governance toolkit, I genuinely had to read it twice. Issue 1705 is a subtler and therefore more dangerous. It came in as a legitimate looking feature request. AGT is great, but missing integration with external API. Link to their product documentation, offers to send a PR, classic product placement disguised as a community contribution. The red flags are on the bottom. New account, fork burst, promotional language, no actual code, external link in the entire ask. Once you see the pattern, you can unsee it. We did. We built a contributor check .py. I'll demo this in a few slides, which catches these patterns automatically before they hit the maintainer queue. The key insight is don't make your maintainers manually triage spam. Build the tooling so spam never gets to a human because we are in the AI world and the spam is going to increase a lot. All right, let's keep going. This one hurt more than the spam because we caused it ourselves. After issue 1760 and few more like it, we built a fork burst heuristic. The logic seemed airtight. Flag accounts that are new, have forked multiple reports in 48 hours, and are submitting PRs with promotional language. Seemed like a perfect spam signal. Like, hey, we are trying to find out like which is spam, which is not. Then issue 1692 landed. A legitimate developer, clearly real, clearly engaged with the project, opened a PR. Our CI flagged them as high risk and auto labeled the PR. They waited 3 days for a human response, didn't hear back, left. The reason their account triggered the heuristic, they had forked 7 awesome list repositories. Because that's the only way to contribute to an awesome list fork. Add your item, submit a PR. Our system couldn't distinguish between fork 7 awesome list to contribute to open source and fork 7 repos as a part of spam campaign. And the fix, which is now in the code base, is to context aware scoring. We look at the what they fork, not just how many. If all folks are curated list repos with the word awesome in the name, we reduce the risk score rather than just increase it. So our story number 2, let's keep going. So this is the one I'm most uncomfortable about, but I therefore the most important to share. PR 1666. We ran an adversarial assessment against our own code base. Basically, we red teamed ourselves and we found 7 real vulnerabilities. Let me walk through the critical one first because it's the most embarrassing. We had a WebSocket relay with zero authentication. CVSS 9.4. That means any process that could reach the network could send commands to the relay. In a governance toolkit, in code that enterprises we start to deploy. CVSS 7.8, sandbox provider accepting arbitrary commands. The whole point of a sandbox is that it doesn't accept arbitrary commands. We had a configuration that's very dead. Wildcard cores on multiple servers, 7.6, and a plugin sandbox that exposed dangerous Python built-in 7.1. You see it. These weren't theoretical. These were like exploitable against real deployments. What I want every maintainer to hear, if you build security tooling and you haven't red teamed it yourself, if you're leaving that to someone with different intentions, we got lucky. You know, we found this before they were publicly weaponized. Not every project will. We now run adversarial assessments on a rolling schedule and have a documented CVE disclosure process. The process is also in the repo. Like I said, everything is in the repo. We have security running in every week, every day, every PRs. We have a lot of processes in place. Let's keep going. There are a lot of more good stories to share. Story number 4. This is the newest problem and the one that's going to get worse before it gets better. AI generated PRs look fine at a glance. They are syntactically correct. The commit messages are eloquent. The comments are confident. And sometimes they're completely wrong in ways that aren't obvious until you actually run the code. We saw three patterns. One, LLM generated code submitted with no human review. The contributor literally couldn't answer basic questions about what their PR did. Two, code lifted from other projects, no attribution, no acknowledgement. Three, LGTM reviews from the same account that submitted the PR, sometimes from an account that appeared to be automated. So you see the patterns here with all the AI PRs getting generated. What we added to contributing.md is on the right side. AI assisted code is welcome if you understand it and can defend in code review. Autonomous bot submissions are discouraged. Prior art must be attributed, and any AI generated code should be explicitly labeled. So I think these are basic things which we have put in place so that we accept AI generated code because that is how the code is going to be. But this is what we expect from you when you bring it. So the reason I phrase this as a discouraged rather than banned is that we can actually enforce a ban, and pretend we can is worse than having an honest policy. What we can do is create cultural norms and social accountability. If you have asked your AI to generate a code, um, do you understand the code? Can you defend it? Like the basic stuff. What not noting, this policy was itself a source of community discussion. Some contributors pushed back. That conversation is healthy. The alternative, no policy, ad hoc decisions, is worse for everyone. So AI PRs are going to be sticking with us for some time and forever. And like, how do we actually make sure we have the right things in place? Let's keep going. Was story number 5. Our CI pipeline is now 7 gates before a PR can merge. To walk through each one because the non-obvious ones are where the value is. DCO sign-off, developer's certificate of origin, legal hygiene, every commit, non-negotiable. We really want to know whether you did it, who did it. Contributor reputation check, that's a contributor check PY, which we'll demo in a second. Security scan, automated runs against every PR, not just releases. We got 2 of our 7 CVEs, this way in subsequent PRs. Link validation. This one sounds boring. It isn't. When you have 50 plus tutorials and add a docs restructure happens, you get stale links everywhere. We had 50 plus broken links after one refactor that nobody got in code review because reviewers aren't clicking links, the bot is. Next one is spell check on docs. I know, spell checks. But when your project is trying to build trust with enterprise customers, guardrails in your README is a problem. So you really guardrails versus guardrails. Unit test. This come last. Intentionally in my mental model, test validate behavior. Everything above validates intents, provenance, and so the 3 real issues on the bottom. Issue 1826 was broken benchmark paths that pass because nobody was running the benchmarks. You see it. We fixed that by adding benchmark execution of the CI run. 50 plus tail links, I already mentioned, and a dependency bump that silently changed behavior. Pinning plus a diff scan got it. So you see this like layers after layers and layers. It's not like just one PR and that's it. All right. So this is the actual function signature from contributor check dot underscore py in the scripts directory. You have it. You want it, you have it. And we have early adopters also beyond AGT repositories, which are using it today. So line number 1 takes a GitHub handle, returns a contributor risk. Line 3 to 4 is the GitHub API, initializes a risk core object. Line 6, account age under 30 days adds to the score, but noted it's a weight, not a binary flag. Lines 8 to 9, fork here, 8 to 9. Fork bus check. And here's a fix from war story number 2. We call all curated list before adding the score. If all the folks are awesome list, we don't penalize. Line number 11 to 12, these two. Promotional language in the PR on body ad score. Line number 13, this one. This is the score that evaluate. Written slow, medium, high, or so the three outcomes. Low, medium, PR goes through normally, maybe gets a soft label. You see, like for example, if someone starts a PR, they're new to your repository and you want contributions, you're open source. So I think that healthy way is like this contributor check PI is going to run for you and it's going to say that, hey, low risk, no problem, just go ahead. Or medium risk, maybe it's okay, but you still go ahead with the plan and you really want to do it. High auto label needs maintainer review, queued separately. Really go look at it. There's another one, which is like a block. Auto close with templated message pointing to contributing directly. Don't allow. Like there is a Bitcoin stuff and like all of those things we don't allow. And this is like a super useful pipeline which we have added to the system, and it has really helped us from the state where we were in, where we were getting a lot of spam and the noise to signal ratio was bad, to the extent that it is really manageable. And I think the people who have adopted it have been using it. So I would appreciate you looking into it. Go ask questions in the chat, and then we are here to answer, and go try it out. You can actually add it in your CI/CD pipelines today as we speak. Like I said, we have one more war story to share, which is war story number 6, the last story. Less dramatic, but probably the highest average that we did. When people think community building, they think write a good README, add a contributing, uh, just welcome, just slap it on the like contributions welcome pay badge and done. And that's not community building. That's community theater. Real community building is operational work. So the 35 good first issues, they're not just labeled good for issue. Every single one has a size label like small, medium, large, an explicit scope boundary. So contributors know exactly what's in and out of scope. Acceptance criteria, so they know when they are done, and a link to the specific file or function so they need to touch. So that makes time, it's worth it. You really want to contribute, you get started, you pick one, and then you know exactly where you are running into. Another one, adopters.md. We have a list of production users who have voluntarily added themselves. This does three things. It gives new contributors social proof that the project is real and deployed if you use it. It gives us accountability because real users will file real issues, and gives us diversity in use cases we didn't anticipate. So this is very one of the good learnings which we had. Third one, language aware reviews. We have 5 SDKs. Like I said in the start, in the slide number 2, we have Python, Rust, Go, .NET, and TypeScript. A Python maintainer should not be reviewing Go PRs. It doesn't make sense. So we set up code owner files per package, so the right reviewer is automatically assigned. This sounds administrative, but it is. It also means contributors get feedback from someone who actually knows the language. The code is at the bottom. Is the code inside. Most OSS projects don't lack code. They lack clear paths for contributors to walk. And 1 month project, like I said, AGT, little older than a month, and we have 50 plus contributors, and it is already sitting at like close to 2000 commits, heavily contributed repository in the governance space, so to speak. Let's keep going. Okay, this is very, if you want to take away anything from this one, I would say this slide is like for you. A lot of goodness here in this slide, and I would love a lot of questions on this one. I would be able to answer those questions. 6 patents, all reusable, all MIT licensed in the repository. First one, treat your repo like a product. It has users, attackers, spammers, and genuine contributors. Plan for all 4. Second, your anti-abuse tooling needs governance too. Build it with some rigor as your production code. Handle edge cases, build a feedback loop. Like I explained, when I created this contributor check, maybe we were doing good with the real scenarios, but then there were a lot of false positives too. And then how do you take care of them? And then you're protecting your repository. This doesn't go into your code which you have built. Red team your own project. Schedule it. Don't wait for a community member to find what you should have found. Red teaming is super important. Fourth one, set AI contribution policy before you need it. Uh, Write it when you have 100 stars, not when you're drowning in LLM generated PRs at 2000 or like 5000 stars. Super important learning for us too. TI is a governance layer, not a test runner. SEO, reputation, link validation, spell check. I showed all the 6 things which we do before we do real PR reviews. These are all first class citizens in the pipeline. Just do it. Just do it. The last one I would say is community building is operational. Good first issues with scope, adopters.md, language aware code owners, they all do the actual work. Like really, they set up the contributors for success, invite them, and also help them really get started as quickly as possible and be on top of it. Like when they have start the contributions because they should be feeling welcome. Every one of these can be pulled directly from the HET repository and adapted for your own project. You can just get started. All right. So what next for us? So we are not done. There are 3 big things on the roadmap. So, with respect to AGT, cryptographic provenance and verifiable delegation chains. This is the next frontier after runtime enforcements. Right now, we can enforce policy. We are building the ability to cryptographically prove who authorized an agent to do what with a chain of custody that survives audit. This matters enormously for the regulated industries. This is our number 1 roadmap, which we are working on. Foundation donation consideration. We have been in conversations with CNCF, LFAI, and data, but I think now we are almost close as we speak today to contribute AGT to AAIF, and we are talking to them. The goal is to make AGT a neutral home that isn't Microsoft specific. So regulated enterprise customers who can depend on a single vendor can adopt it with confidence. That's happening. We are already in discussion with AIF. The third one, regulated verticals, healthcare and financial services design partners. We need real world constraint input from practitioners in those spaces. If you're building AI agents in a regulated environment, I would love to talk to you. Where we need help right now, Rust and Go SDK maintainers. Like I said, 5 languages. We have to find experts in all of those languages and all of those places. Security researchers, welcome. The more we do red teaming, the more better the systems are. And honestly, a good documentation writers too. We have a lot of documentation to the extent that we have so much more than what we need, and it's super complex. So we have already 35 scope issues, bunch of shows like I think ready to go. All right, mostly this is the last one. GitHub.com/Microsoft/Agent Governance Toolkit is all here there. For Ask, I have start the repository. It generally helps with visibility and signals to the enterprise evaluator that the project is active. Grab a good first issue, their scope, sized and ready, or maybe come up with your own one. And then open a discussion. If you are hit a maintainer problem that we didn't cover, tell us. Maybe we can actually work together and figure out maybe that would be applicable to us, that would be applicable to you, and we can work on them together. And the red team with us, seriously. We paid for the full disclosure and acknowledgement. If you find something, open a security advisory. Obviously, I've given you links and stuff here, but let's take questions.
Oh, there is so much here. This is amazing. First of all, I'm so glad to see that we are actually leading the space. And the creation of this toolkit is obviously, I love how you created it, but also you learned along the way some of the reasons why it was created to begin with, and were able to like integrate those learnings into what the toolkit is now. Like it's a lot more mature, and having gone through their own red teaming, like I've not even considered doing that to my own projects. So this is phenomenal. For the folks who are already using, like for example, they're using Actions as part of like their CI/CD pipeline, like they're already using Copilot, like that's their agent that they're using. Where would you tell them to start with the kit? Like, what is the best way for them to start incorporating the kit? Like, me personally, I'm thinking I'm going to point my agent to it and tell it to go adopt those practices and sort of do like this own verification of what I have going on in my own projects. But any advice that you have for projects that are already very large and have been using agentic workflows, have been using agents, but have not considered like the governance and policy and the caution that you must take when using that?
Love it. So we published a blog especially for that answer a few weeks back. We called it Shift Left Governance. And I think that actually said, forget about When agents are in production, when you're deploying it, when your agent code is sitting in your repository, what do you all have to care about? And that's a very, very, very long, detailed article that goes into each aspects of all the way from security to trying to look at compliance and all of it. And then you get it like the entire package. And then maybe as part of this video, we can share that link in the comment section so you can go through it. That's one option. What we have also seen is the people we have been talking to, they just point their GitHub Copilot CLI or Cloud CLI to our repository and say that, hey, just learn what they are doing, and they have found it very useful. Maybe that could be also a very easy way to get started. We have published all of the CI/CD which we use. We have also packaged it and made it available as reusable components. And then we also have signed binaries available from Microsoft so that you can actually trust those. So it's not like you're taking dependencies, something untrusted code or untrusted binaries. They are signed binaries. And then you can actually, you can get added to your CI/CD pipelines, and then contributor checks can come for free. The compliance checks come for free, and like bunch of stuff you can have it today without changing your existing code.
I appreciate that. And you're making it simpler for us to think about something that I don't think many developers really were concerned with. Like you just explained, for the enterprise point of view, obviously, there are organizations that have always had a heavy mind and intentionality on their projects because security concerns, et cetera, et cetera. But like some open source projects really don't really think about governance as if their projects were enterprise. Like they just think about it like this is a thing that I do and it's a public thing. And now with so many new attack vectors, like we have to care about governance. Do you think that that's something that developers are going to have to start caring, like regardless if they're contributing to open source or not? Like, should governance be something that's top of mind for all of us?
That's a very good question. See, personally, what I would say is we have two choices. One, like, let's make governance a real problem and let's make everyone think about governance, or let everyone just do what they are doing best, which is like they're working on the open source projects and repositories, and let us just take care of their governance problem. And I would actually lean into the second one. If that is a discussion I'm having with GitHub team and like other teams inside Microsoft and outside Microsoft, is what if we solve it problem for everyone so that you don't really have to worry about it, but governance is indeed a problem. And and then one of the biggest problem which we are seeing today is like spam and signal to noise ratio in all of the popular repositories. I was doing this analysis of AAIF, MCP, A2A, and repositories including AGT. I was trying to just say, hey, tell me how many issues you see today are real issues versus spam. And it told me like, hey, this signal to noise issue is high in all of these things. And just adding some of the CI/CD pipeline which we bring to the table, I think we'll just bring it down. So as a developer, if I'm like starting a repository, if you can solve all those problems for me, then I can just focus on my like code, which I really care about. And I also feel confident because other things are taken care of. That is what I would lean to.
I like that. I think that's a better solution, honestly. That create
Yes.
the systems so that you can, people that want to contribute don't have to be like, there's a lot of mental like load that goes into thinking through all of this. And there are people that are experts at it and they're doing the job. Like this toolkit is phenomenal for that. So I like that as a plan. I like what you share about and thank you for sharing the real stories too. Like it's not flattering, like what you were saying, like this one hurt the most. Like I could hear it in your voice that you're like, yeah, like this is my project and these things were happening even in my own projects. I think if I seen like one instance of a prompt injection attack, like even on our own repositories, it happened to the Awesome Copilot repository too. Like there were a couple of just really on the screen, it looks like a reasonable issue that's been open and an issue or request to add a project to us on Copilot, but then upon further review, it was clearly an attack disguised as like a contribution. So there's a lot of things that maintainers are doing to create like better guardrails for themselves, but it's also creating a ton of burnout and like mental load and just like a lot. I think this is where we're kind of failing, that we didn't stop to think about like repercussions before we adopted quickly. But now is the time to start using systems like this so that we can, maintainers can keep maintaining it, people that are writing code can keep shipping, but we're doing it all like more securely. Let me ask you, because there is a question about velocity. Like I feel like that's one of the biggest sort of uh, we want to be careful and we want to adopt systems and we want to actually take governance make governance part of our projects, right? And be an integral part of the way that we work on our projects. But then a lot of people get stuck in the conversation of like, well, is this a lot of enforcement, a lot of like just policy that's just keeping developers from shipping fast? Um, so I don't know, when you're thinking about code, how much of this governance like should it be enforced like in code versus in process? Like, and I will share the article about shift and left because I think like I want to read it myself, but I will also share it on the notes for folks who are thinking like, okay, no, I'm sold, I need to do this. But what do you think? I mean, I feel for people that I might be a little bit more reluctant to start thinking in systems and thinking about adopting toolkits like this because they're afraid that creating sort of those governing of agent behaviors is going to just slow down their projects.
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. So the way I actually see it is, you have to take care of it at some point of time, and you decide when. If you do it early, you are covered for later stages, and if you don't do it early, you're going to pay a lot more tax. So as you go like later stages, you're going to pay more and more tax. So if I can somehow with my first check and block the PR that was a spam PR, that was like a very quick check I did, and then I saved my entire uh, this code actually getting into production and impacting my customers. But if I don't really have this check, and then somehow someone contributes something which I was not able to like, figure it out, goes into my code, ships in production, and eventually gets caught, I'm paying a lot bigger tax. So my story is, we need all of it, but I think the question is all about like where do you fit in. The more you can shift left, the better. If possible, your velocity will go down for sure. But I think we have a catch. I was looking at the velocity, our own AGT velocity. Like, is it like really going down, or is it like what's happening? So what's happening right now is, think of it like this: when we launched the repository, a lot of people came in, and then a lot of contributions started pouring in, and whatever checks and balances we had, like we were just letting everyone in. A lot of good PRs, but some bad PRs too. So the velocity was high. And then we were like, hey, now we are running into this issue, all the issues I talked about. And somewhere we have to start adding the guardrails, add this guardrail, get this. You can keep going and you're never going to stop. Things go slow, things really become slow. And that is what we realized, things became slow. But then since we stabilized all of these guardrails, we know exactly what we want. Security should run weekly. Some part of security should run in each PR. PR checks, contributor checks should happen for sure. Uh, AI code reviews should take care of a lot of code reviews, the basic ones, so that like maintainers can just take care of the design and all of those things. Once things really stabilize, our velocity has actually gone up. So what I would say is like you would find a period where you would be really getting your system stabilized with all of this like shift left governance and all. And even if you feel that things are going slow down, it's slowing to make you fast, and that is how we are. So if you see our velocity, you draw a graph, right? High, maybe low, but like coming back to the high. That's how we are.
I appreciate that. And thank you for saying what you said at the beginning. It's like you're either going to do it now or you're going to do it later, but you're going to have to take care of it regardless. This is very, very interesting. And I appreciate the intentionality. And I'm so proud of Microsoft for putting this kit together. I can't wait to see if it's going to become part of the I can't say the acronym. AIF, because definitely setting an industry standard for us moving forward, it's the way to go. If teams take one thing from everything that you showed us today and from this project, like say they want to start digging into one main idea, maybe they're not ready to jump in all the way, what would be your recommendation for what it should be?
The one idea I would say is the easiest one, super important one is go update your contributor.md and align on like what you allow folks, where you allow folks to use AI and where you really have a hard stop. Just start with that, because that is going to actually give some kind of like set the stage for everyone, saying that hey, while we welcome you to use AI, but we also have some expectations on the AI usage. And that's a very good one. And this aligns also with the OSSF guidelines, because that is where we have been actively working with. And they are also adopting some of these AI guidelines, which says that, hey, AI is here. It's not going anywhere. Everyone is going to use it. But I think we expect you, when you use AI, you should be understanding how you're using it, and also where it is okay, where it is not okay. So just very simple, easy one line, like few changes. You can directly adopt it from the AGD, and maybe I think that would be a good starting point.
This is amazing. Thank you so much, Imran, for bringing this project. Everyone, go to the repository right now and leave a star so we can get the repository trending, and look at the languages that they're already available. And if you are able to contribute to those, or maybe add in new languages for contribution, like that'd be great. And I love how you have the labels so clear and the levels of complexity. That makes first-time contributors to a new open source project like feel a lot more empowered to actually choose and sort of be less intimidated where they want to start. So definitely take a look at the repository, take a look at the open issues. You encourage people to open a discussion. Is there any other place where is it on discussions where most of the team lives? Like, how can if I see somewhere that I want to kind of get started, but I want to make sure that I have a conversation before I start digging into how to contribute, what would be the best
That's
place to
an
go?
important learning which we haven't worked on yet. So I think everyone has been asking for a Discord channel which we can have, so that people can come to, and then it's in the works. I think that is something which everyone has been asking for. Maybe by the time we actually stream it, maybe we have it. And
Okay.
yeah, let's see.
Okay.
Awesome.
But in the
Yes.
meanwhile, there are discussions and there are issues. And so just,
Yes.
go by the repository and take a look and see how you like to contribute. Okay. You have a really exciting time coming ahead with the inclusion into the new foundation, plus everything that you have planned. Is there anything else in the timeline, like on the roadmap, that you like to share with us about where like AGT is going?
So AGT, so the whole idea we came up with AGT was everyone is building agents, and the year of playing around, having fun, demos, it's gone. I think this is a time when everyone is getting very serious. So are the laws around it, like how the laws, EU AI Act, OAP Stop 10, this Colorado Act, which is saying that, hey, tightening the rules around usage of AI, usage of LLMs, usage of agents, and everyone wants some kind of governance. So AGT came in from Microsoft saying that, hey, you still don't have to worry about, keep going, build your agents, and we can actually take care of all of these things for you if you use agenting. So you get it for free. And then it's open source, multi-language, and I think it works with Google, Amazon, Microsoft, everyone, actually all kind of frameworks. So it's in a good shape. Now I think the next step which we are going into is, first, like I said, we want to give it to the standards, so that this is for everyone and it's not tied up to one so like the way you have MCP and Goose and other stuff sitting at AI up, it will be just sitting there. So it's like governance is like also one of the standards. Second thing is, like, we also are partnering with a lot of runtime and confidential compute and other spaces, trying to see that depending on like what kind of trust you really want in your agent production, we bring you. Like, for example, if your agents are like going to make super important financial decisions, the we are working with the hardware companies and GPU companies saying that, hey, if AGT plus some of these things come together, we give you the best trust possible running your agent, so you don't still have to worry about those things. That's actually in the work. And looking forward to all the contributions from the maintainers, like our contributors, everyone. I think, that's the most fun. That is something which I really enjoy, when people come together and build this community. AGT is a community. Within a month, we have, was looking at the latest live statistics. It said 88 plus contributors, which
Wow.
is like awesome number within a month. And we launched it, and there are more than 300,000 downloads of our packages in a month for something as new as this. If I go to Gemini or Chat GPT or Claude, and I ask what is the number one open source governance framework, it says AGT, and that's like awesome to be in. So yes, very happy with how the community has adopted, community has contributed, and like how we are building an ecosystem around it.
This is amazing. Thank you for doing this hard work. We need it. So we appreciate you. We appreciate you. Thanks for being here, Imran. Where can people reach you online?
Absolutely, I love people reaching online. I have my Twitter ID as well as the LinkedIn ID.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Well, I feel like we probably have a lot of questions on the chat too. So we'll take a look at those. If we don't answer to you right away, don't be discouraged. I am going to get you an answer. I'll reply to those comments. But I know Imran is actually going to be monitoring the chat as well at the same time. So if you're interested in contributing to the project, you know what to do. Go to the repository, leave a star, start a conversation. But I think whether you are running a big project, a small project, we need to start carrying our governance in the way that we work with our agents. So this is very timely. I think it's relevant for all of us. So great that it's open source and it's free for all. So that's awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, Rambo. I appreciate you coming to Open Source Friday. You'll have to come back in a couple of months and let us know what's going on with AGT next.
Absolutely. Would love to. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Okay. That is awesome. Thank you so much for joining this Open Source Friday. Don't forget to leave your questions and comments in the chat. I read every single one of them. Go by, start this repo, and more importantly, learn what's in it, because this is